Active daughter here. I won't let her out. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that she left Tahoe for a year against my advice without doing the get a leave of absence thing, and lost her standing for a while. She's back on good terms now with tenure and all, but boy, as an old superintendent, I didn't think she should do that at all. But anyway, when she got back and did some sub-teaching and got back in eventually as a PE teacher at one of the schools, she called me up all excited after the evaluation had been written. And she read the evaluation to me, and I said, "There's something wrong with that evaluation." And of course she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's too good. Nobody gets an evaluation like that." But then I figured it out. What that evaluation said was, we want this kid back next year to teach PE in this school. So did you teach PE in that school more than 1 year?
Yes, I taught there for 3 years. And I definitely enjoyed that position.
Why do you like PE when Dad thought you were getting a little too old to be outside doing PE in the cold country?
Well, PE is an awesome position as an educator to reach a lot of students, because I would teach PE classes to grades kindergarten through 5th grade. So basically I had an influence on every single child in the school. And when I had first found out that I had an opportunity to teach PE, I thought about what do I want PE to mean to me? And we're fortunate enough in our district to have a PE specialist. So, I have a minor in PE and I have a credential to teach PE. It's not just a teacher teaching PE. And I thought, well, a lot of times PE, even at those lower grades, is broken down into the winners and the losers. The kids who are already athletically inclined, the kids who are already doing extracurricular sports, and then the others. And I was determined to make my program about kids finding out about their own personal best and finding out that they were capable of increasing their coordination, their strength, their flexibility, and their teamwork skills, and that no one was all winner or no one else was all loser. And I really focused on the kids who are already in extracurricular sports in our town to have more of a leadership role and a helping role and a mentoring, tutoring role with the other kids, versus what you see on the field, which is win, 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 and just grind the others into the ground. So I did that, and I had a very, very successful program. We do gentle jogging. And on their first day, I'd have them, all grades, gentle jog, which we would demonstrate. You could power walk faster than a gentle jog. So that would help increase their mind that I can do it, I could do it. I'd only have them do it for a minute and a half, and you'd think I was killing them. And then I'd tell them how long that was, a minute and a half, and they just couldn't believe it. But then slowly over time, then I would increase it by about 30 seconds, but I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't tell them I increased it that day, because if you tell them beforehand, they'd quit on you, and then they'd be so impressed. So by the end of the year, they were gentle jogging without stopping for about 6.5 minutes. And for a lot of those students, that was almost like life-changing for them to see their progress, to see that they actually did make progress. And I loved that position. I just really enjoyed telling them that, PE was about physical health and activity. It wasn't about winning and losing. And I knew I'd done a good job. Remember Karsten's son, when we were over at their house watching Survivor? He had been in my class, and I would always say, PE is about having fun and getting healthy. It's not about winning. Winning's nice, but it's about having fun and getting healthy. And remember we were watching Survivor? And I can't remember what we were talking about, but he turned around and said, "No, it's about having fun and getting healthy." And I thought, there you have it. He took that message home, so that was great.
How did you handle being outside in the cold with your classes? Because I know you said that if you could, you had the classes outside.
I would just dress for it. Dressing in layers, having appropriate clothing, like, Gore-Tex shell jacket, wearing appropriate underclothing, and then you get acclimated. You get totally acclimated. I got so acclimated that now I'm really more of a polar bear. I get too hot. Like now that I'm in a classroom this year with first graders, my classroom is set. I think my thermostat's at 62 because I just got acclimated to it, and it was so beautiful to be outside. And I had so many parents. There was one school in our town where the PE teacher that was there previously, he just did not like outside. That was not his preference. And so when I would take the kids out, the parents, volunteers would come up to me and say, thank you so much for taking our children outside in Lake Tahoe for PE. So I got some points on that one.
And you're at a different school than where you were a PE teacher, but you're hoping now to be assigned as the Bijou PE instructor.
Yes, looks like I might have a very good opportunity at that. There was a transfer opportunity that came up recently, and I put in for it. I definitely have the credentials. I have the experience. I know that they like me as a PE teacher. I went into the classroom because that was a choice that I wanted, and I've enjoyed that very much. But I do miss that whole school influence, and I'm sure that when I get out there at Bijou School in PE, that I will have a very positive impact on that school-wide culture, because we talk a lot at PE about being a good model, about that each child, even if they're young, even if first or second graders, let alone fourth and fifth, that your attitude and the way you conduct yourself towards others can make that person's day or ruin that person's day. And kids have that good heart, and they do reach up to that higher level, and I think that will be really, really good for that school to kind of combine the academics and that PE attitude. So I'm looking forward to it.
How do you think we're doing on time?
I think we probably talked 6.5 minutes.
Let's do a quickie on, I've forgotten what you guys call it over there, but I know you and Linda Loughlin work every year on
conflict managers.
Conflict managers.
Yeah, conflict managing is a program where you train students how to work during a playground recess time along with regular supervising adults, and they are trained to spot conflicts, not physical conflicts, but really we don't even have those at school anyway, but like, the typical, I'm first, no, I'm first, that's my ball. And those kids are trained how to go up and introduce themselves and ask if the students want to solve the problem. There's rules that the participants have to follow, no put-downs, no bad language, talk only to me, and no interruptions. And then one student tells their side of the story first, the manager repeats back the story that that person tells, then they go to the other person so they get both sides of the story. And we teach them they are not truth finders, they are peacemakers.
I'm impressed with that program, having been in school business for 40 years actively, and now continue to be a sub in the high schools. I think that's a very, very good thing to teach children. If those kids that are in that program will be better husbands, better wives,
yep,
better neighbors. You and Linda Loughlin and your principal and whoever else is involved in that here in the school district, 3 cheers for you.
They actually took that program to the middle school after its success at Bijou for several years. Now they're even doing it at the middle school. And also those kids, you'll hear those managers talk about how they teach those principles at their home. They teach it to their parents and their friends, even outside of school, so it's definitely a worthy program.
Well, thank you, daughter Rhonda, for being willing to do this.
You're great, Dad.
You're a great teacher. Proud of you.